Hello and welcome to Art Supply Thursdays. Today I'm going to check out this Platinum Century 3776 with a 14 karat extra fine nib. I got this pen at a brick and mortar store that is unfortunately going out of business, so I got it quite cheaper than usual. I got it for, I think it was 2,800 Taiwan dollars. That's about 90 US dollars. 90 US dollars. Came in this old box, and inside the old box is this nice fake leather, nice blue box here with a soft on the outside, soft on the inside. Reveals the pen and also the manual. The manual is quite funny because it's a nice presentation here with it, but the translations are quite bad on the inside. So it's quite funny to read them and try to make sense of what it's talking about. But so that's the manual. It's if you know anything about a cartridge converter fountain pen, then you don't need the manual. It's just a formality. It came with a cartridge and a converter. This pen, you see I have it in black here. It comes in a number of other colors, but most of those other colors are rather subdued. This is a professional pen, and the 3776 is the flagship of Platinum. They have a lot of cheaper pens, such as the Platinum Preppy is very famous for them. It's very cheap. It's a wonderful pen, and it's very, very cheap, so that's a great and very popular pen they have. You can find in most places, but yes, this flagship here is it's in, I think it's called chartreuse blue, like a translucent blue. They have it, or maybe it's chartreuse is red. I forget my colors. Sorry about that. But yeah, so it comes in on like a red and a blue, and I think a green as well, and maybe a clear, but there's nothing that's neon or really bright orange or pink, or it might have I think they have a soft pink one. But anyway, so here this black and gold one is quite nice. I especially love the look of it posted. It's I have a Parker Urban, which I think was my most professional looking pen, and now this one I can pull this one out and say, yes, I'm ready to take notes and check me out. So it has a few scuff marks, and that was by me. I scuffed it, and I just got it today. So yes, I have this like a stone pen holder that tipped over and fell on it, and so it scuffed it up a little bit. So I'll have to take it to a jeweler and buff it out, or just try to ignore it. The clip here is just a basic clip. Just it's not spring loaded. Just a standard clip works fine. Here it is to screw the cap off. It's a few more rotations than the normal. It's like 1 3/4 about. That's a bit much for a flagship pen, but you can still give it like a quick spin and take off. You don't have to. I've seen pens where you have to take 3 rotations to get it off, and then that can be kind of annoying if you use it a lot. But I think this one you can still just quickly uncap it if you're writing, consistently, or if you uncap it often, it's not a problem. The nib, yes, is a gold nib. It's a 14 karat solid. People say solid gold 14 karat. It's not plated. That's what it means. It's so it's 14 karat, whatever that is, percentage wise, around 60%, something like that. 28 is so 14 divided by 28, whatever that is. You can do that math. The percentage of gold in it, but yes, 14 karat extra fine nib. It's not removable, and but it really stands out. The shape of this nib, I think, is my favorite thing about these pens, and I've always wanted one, so I was happy that I got it for a huge discount, because I just love how wide they are. They just give this big, bold look to them. I really enjoy the shape. I think that the Mont Blanc 149 that has a huge nib on it as well, and some other nibs do too, and that's always a nice look. These 3776 pens by Platinum, they come with the standard nib sizes: extra fine, fine, medium, broad. I'm not sure if they have stubs. I imagine they do. I do know they have a music nib, which is essentially a stub nib with more than one slit cut into it. It's a pretty interesting nib. They also have an ultra extra fine that this comes in. So this is already very, very fine. I can't imagine how an ultra extra fine would be to be even thinner than this line that this one produces, but that's pretty cool too. These also come with soft nibs: soft fine, soft extra fine, soft medium, and the soft ones, I have tried them out before, and they have more bounciness. I imagine they have more flex too. I can't remember, but I'll get to the flex later. But just to know that they do come in soft fine, soft extra fine compared to this standard extra fine. Although it's gold, so it still has some bounciness and flex to it anyway. This is a Cartridge Converter Pen, and I have Lamy Black and a converter right now. The grip is fine, nothing special. Standard grip with the threads that are not a problem. The weight is a little on the light side, especially for a flagship pen, but I don't notice it as being particularly light. It posts securely and looks good. I'll emphasize that again, and how professional this looks, how champion it appears. So that's really nice to have this pen. Just it's one I could show off. And so let's get to the writing sample. So when writing with this pen, it's not particularly smooth, which is a little surprising because the preppies, that come in the O2 size, which are often a little more expensive in the bookstores, but still just incredibly cheap, they write astonishingly smoothly for such a cheap pen. So if you're looking for an extra fine with a smooth writing experience, then I haven't found anything better than these cheap preppies that come with an O2 nib. But so it's a little surprising that this nib is not as smooth. It's what I've heard people describe as toothy. Toothy is not scratchy at all. It just is. It's not like a buttery smooth sort of feel. It gives some feedback, which you want some control with it. It can help with control. So I suppose if I had a choice, I would say yes, I would like it smooth, and I might try to smooth it out with some micro mesh or something. But it could grow on me too, because I just do enjoy writing with it as it is. Like I said, it's not scratchy. Because of its gold content, this pen flexes a little bit on its own. If you hold it correctly and let it bounce by itself, then it will get some line variation as you pull it toward you. It'll be a little different for most people because I'm left-handed. But when you write with it, you can see how as you make your downstrokes, and I'm not even really trying to do this with any effort, the downstrokes get a little bigger and just the tines separate and open up naturally. If you force it to flex, if you push it to its limit, then you can see that they open up quite a bit. It's not a huge flex pen, and it's not even advertised as being a flex pen, and I wouldn't call it that per se. But the line variation is very good. I would say that the writing style that you can get from this pen is kind of like old postcard style, which is nearly Spencerian, but Spencerian I think has even more line variation technically than this can produce. Yeah, so definitely an old postcard sort of font. If you look at postcards from 100 years ago or so, they had this style when you write with cursive, and so with a little flourishing Yeah, you can add quite a bit of style, and this has a unique style all its own. So that's hard to find with other pens. For example, the Preppy has no flex at all, so you certainly get the smoothness from that Preppy nib, but you can't get that awesome line variation. Reverse writing, it does write in reverse, but I think this line it's not scratchy. It's just as normal and smooth as the other side was. Not particularly smooth, not scratchy, and lines about the same size. Usually reverse writing makes a smaller line, but this one's about the same. So yes, I do recommend the pen. It seems as if it's a pen that could grow on you, and that sounds a little negative, like I don't like it, but I like I said, I've had it for a day, and I really I've enjoyed writing with it that I've done so far. I wrote one letter with it, and I of course plan to keep using it. And I'll say that it bothers me a little bit because it's expensive. I have a lot of mid-range and cheaper pens, and that are just easier to knock around and not worry about. And I think pens should be used. They shouldn't just sit on a display case, unless, of course, they're one of those super expensive Crone pens or even a Visconti or something. But yeah, this one, yeah, it's made to be used. It has a slip and seal cap on the inside, which is their patented system to keep the nib covered for like 2 years, so it won't dry out even if it's 2 years unused, as long as it's capped. And that's a pretty impressive feature that it has. So yeah, it's made to work, it's made to write, and that's fine, as long as you can afford it, because I think the normal price is somewhere around $150 US, $180 US, depending on the model, maybe even more if you get the music nib or something special like that. So that's something to consider. I'm not a huge fan of gold nibs. I haven't used a ton of them, but yeah, I've found that characteristically they just are not as important or special as one might think because it's gold. But we'll see how this pen writes over the next few months, and maybe I'll just keep reaching for it, because that's a really nice looking script right there, and I feel like I could just write with this for hours, and so that's really something to be said. All right, thank you very much.